Ladies and gentlemen, let me start by pointing out a profound truth that many of us overlook. It's the subtle things, the seemingly inconsequential details, that govern much of our social interactions. Often we live our lives unaware of how our smallest actions ripple outward, influencing the people around us in ways we might never have imagined. Women in particular, often underestimate the extent to which men perceive and analyze the intricate details of their behavior. So today I want to uncover 7 things that men notice about women, details that women often dismiss but hold great weight in the unspoken dance of human connection. Now, before we dive in, let me be clear. This isn't about stereotypes or reducing anyone to mere physicality or social roles. It's about understanding the nuances of human behavior. Because relationships at their core are about navigating those nuances with care, respect, and curiosity, a man pays close attention to how a woman treats others, especially those who cannot offer her anything in return. This observation goes far beyond politeness. It's a window into her true character. When a man sees a woman treating a waiter, a cashier, or even a stranger on the street with kindness, it signals to him something profound about her values. It tells him she operates with empathy and respect, not because she has to, but because that's the kind of person she is. This quality is foundational to trust and connection because it demonstrates consistency and integrity. Relationships at their core are about building something sustainable. A man subconsciously asks himself, what will it be like to navigate life with this person? And part of that question revolves around how she interacts with the world. If she is dismissive, impatient, or rude to others, especially those in vulnerable or service-oriented roles, it raises red flags. He may wonder how that attitude might one day extend to him or those they care about. Conversely, witnessing kindness and genuine care creates an impression of warmth and reliability. It reassures him that this is someone who values harmony and mutual respect. Interestingly, this isn't about grand gestures. A simple thank you, a genuine smile, or taking a moment to ask someone how they're doing can leave a lasting impact. These small acts of grace show a level of self-awareness and a willingness to see others as individuals rather than obstacles or conveniences. A woman who carries this energy signals that she's likely to bring emotional safety into a relationship. She's someone who won't default to hostility or contempt in moments of stress, but instead will approach challenges with compassion and an open mind. It's worth noting that men often pick up on these moments without consciously articulating them. The impression forms subtly, almost instinctively. He might not even realize why he feels drawn to someone who shows such consistent decency, but it influences his perception deeply. Ultimately, how a woman treats others speaks to her long-term potential as a partner. It reflects whether she's a force for peace or chaos, for connection or division. Men notice, and more importantly, they remember. The ripple effects of small acts of kindness extend far beyond the moment, shaping how others see and value the person behind them. Men are deeply attuned to a woman's enthusiasm for life, though they might not express it openly. Passion, energy, and curiosity create a magnetic pull that leaves a lasting impression. It's not about specific interests or hobbies. It's about the spirit with which she engages with the world around her. When a woman lights up while discussing something she cares about, it reveals a layer of her personality that's both compelling and inspiring. That sense of vibrancy shows she isn't simply coasting through life, she's actively participating in it. This enthusiasm communicates more than surface-level excitement. It's a reflection of her inner world. A woman who pursues her passions demonstrates purpose and self-awareness. Women. She's invested in her growth and experiences, which signals to a man that she's likely to bring depth to their relationship. He doesn't just see someone who's busy, he sees someone who values her time and energy, someone who is cultivating a fulfilling life. That's attractive because it suggests she won't depend solely on him for her happiness, but will instead complement his life with her own unique sense of drive on the flip. Upside, a lack of enthusiasm can have a noticeable effect. A person who shows no curiosity, no excitement, or no joy in the little things often comes across as disengaged or stuck. For men, this can signal a potential obstacle in building a meaningful connection. Enthusiasm acts as a bridge, creating shared moments of excitement and wonder. Without it, interactions risk feeling flat and uninspired, leaving the relationship without the energy it needs to grow. What makes enthusiasm so powerful is its contagious nature. A woman who speaks passionately about her interests, whether it's music, art, her career, or a personal goal, can inspire a man to reflect on his own passions. It awakens a sense of possibility and reminds him of the beauty in being fully present and engaged with life. It's not about what she's passionate about, it's about how she allows that passion to shape her perspective and interactions. Enthusiasm for life suggests resilience and optimism. It shows that even in a world filled with challenges, she's choosing to see the opportunities and joys that make life worth living. Men notice this because it embodies a mindset that elevates not just her experience, but the experiences of everyone around her. Men are far more perceptive of body language and posture than they often let on. A woman's nonverbal cues, how she carries herself, the way she moves, and even her posture, communicate volumes about her confidence, emotional state, and self-perception. These are unspoken signals that can create an impression long before she says a single word. When a woman walks into a room with her shoulders back, her head held high, and her movements deliberate, it conveys a quiet confidence that is immediately noticeable. It's not about being flashy or commanding attention for its own sake. It's about the subtle assurance she projects. That confidence suggests a sense of self-worth and presence that draws others in naturally. Men in particular notice these cues because they often indicate how comfortable she is in her own skin. On the other hand, slouched shoulders, hesitant movements, or closed-off gestures can send a very different message. These cues might suggest insecurity, discomfort, or even a guarded nature. It's not that men are judging harshly, but rather they are interpreting these signals as insights into her emotional state. Body language is often an unconscious expression of what's happening internally, and men are attuned to these subtle shifts because they shape how interactions unfold. What makes body language so powerful is that it goes beyond mere appearances. It's not about perfection, but about authenticity and alignment between a person's inner and outer worlds. For example, a genuine smile, relaxed posture, or open gestures can convey warmth and approachability. These nonverbal cues create an environment where others feel at ease, which is key to building connection and trust. Men notice when a woman's presence makes a room feel more inviting. And it often comes down to the energy expressed through her physical demeanor. Conversely, overly rigid or defensive body language might signal discomfort or disinterest, even if that's not the intent. Men often pick up on these signals instinctively, even if they can't fully articulate why. The way a woman carries herself becomes a silent language that reveals much about her mood, personality, and approach to life. Ultimately, body language and posture act as the unspoken first impression. They reflect not only how a woman sees herself, but also how she engages with the world. Men notice, and these cues often play a pivotal role in shaping their perception and interest. Men are acutely aware of the tone of a woman's voice, even if they don't consciously articulate it. The way someone speaks beyond the actual words carries a wealth of unspoken meaning. Tone, rhythm, pitch, and inflection shape the emotional undertone of communication and can deeply influence how a woman is perceived. These subtle elements often reveal more about her state of mind and personality than the content of her speech alone. A warm, calm, and balanced tone creates a sense of comfort and trust. When a woman speaks in a way that feels genuine and inviting, it signals emotional stability and openness. Men notice when her tone carries kindness, curiosity, or empathy. As it fosters a sense of safety in the interaction, this warmth becomes a bridge for connection, encouraging deeper conversation and mutual understanding. It reassures a man that the space she creates is one where he can be himself without fear of judgment or conflict. Conversely, a harsh or overly sharp tone can leave a lasting impression. Even if the words spoken are neutral or positive, a critical or dismissive edge might unintentionally communicate impatience or frustration, creating tension in the. Men are often sensitive to these subtleties because tone is an indicator of how a person handles emotions, particularly in moments of stress or disagreement. A consistently negative tone can suggest unresolved frustrations, or a lack of self-awareness, both of which can undermine trust and harmony over time. What stands out most is authenticity. Men notice when a woman's tone aligns with her emotions and intentions. A cheerful tone that feels forced or insincere can be just as noticeable as one that's consistently monotone or disengaged. Authenticity in tone communicates that she is present and engaged in the conversation, not just going through the motions. It shows that she values the interaction and respects the person she's speaking with. The tone of voice also has an emotional ripple effect. A soothing or enthusiastic tone can uplift and energize, while a sharp or flat one can deflate the mood. Men pick up on these shifts instinctively as they contribute to the overall dynamic of the relationship. Whether it's a casual chat or a serious discussion, tone sets the stage for connection or disconnection. It's a detail men notice, and its impact often resonates far beyond the conversation itself. Men notice the small ways a woman takes care of herself, not in a superficial sense, but in what those actions symbolize. Self-care speaks volumes about a person's self-respect and the value they place on their own well-being. When a woman invests time and effort into maintaining her health, appearance, and emotional balance, it signals to a man that she values herself. And that is inherently attractive. It's not about perfection or adhering to societal beauty standards. It's about the intentionality behind those choices. A woman who takes care of herself radiates a quiet confidence that is impossible to ignore. It's evident in the way she dresses, the effort she puts into grooming, or even how she organizes her day. These small acts demonstrate self-discipline and a sense of pride in who she is. To a man, these habits suggest she's likely to bring the same level of care and intentionality into her relationships. It signals reliability and stability, qualities that are foundational to a healthy partnership. Men also notice how self-care reflects a woman's boundaries. Taking care of oneself often involves saying no to things that drain energy or compromise well-being. This ability to prioritize personal needs shows strength and self-awareness, which are deeply respected. It suggests that she knows how to protect her peace and avoid unnecessary care. For a man observing these behaviors, it can be reassuring to see someone who values balance and won't sacrifice her well-being for external validation. However, the importance of self-care isn't limited to physical appearance. Men notice emotional self-care as well. The way a woman handles stress, how she speaks to herself, and whether she seeks joy and growth in her life. A woman who is kind to herself, who pursues interests and passions, shows resilience and optimism. These qualities make her not only more appealing, but also more inspiring to be around. She becomes a source of positivity and strength, which is naturally attractive. On the other hand, neglecting self-care can unconsciously communicate a lack of self-respect or unresolved struggles. Men may pick up on this not in judgment, but as an indication of potential challenges. In building a balanced relationship, self-care reflects how a woman values herself, and by extension, how she might value others. It's a detail that men notice and remember because it sets the tone for how she navigates her life and relationships. Men notice when a woman truly listens, and it's one of the most profound and subtle ways she can create connection and understanding. Listening is more than hearing the words someone speaks. It's about being fully present, engaged, and responsive to what is being shared. When a woman listens with intent, she demonstrates empathy, respect, and an openness that can disarm even the most guarded individuals. One of the key aspects men notice is the way a woman responds during a conversation. Does she make eye contact, nod in acknowledgement, or offer thoughtful questions that show she's processing what's being said? These small, seemingly simple actions convey a level of care and attentiveness that doesn't go unnoticed. For a man, this signals that she values his perspective and is genuinely interested in understanding him, not just waiting for her turn to speak. A woman who listens well creates a space where a man feels seen and heard. This is a rare and powerful gift because men, like women, long for validation and understanding in a world that often prioritizes speed and surface-level interactions. The act of truly listening stands out as an expression of emotional maturity and depth. It reassures him that he can open up without fear of being dismissed or judged, fostering trust and intimacy over time. On the other hand, when a woman appears distracted, interrupts frequently, or dismisses what's being said, it can create distance. Men may not always articulate it, but they notice when their words don't seem to land. This can lead to feelings of frustration or even reluctance to share in the future. Listening is a two-way street, and when one person isn't engaged, the dynamic of the relationship can shift in subtle but significant ways. What makes listening so impactful is that it goes beyond mere conversation. It reflects a broader capacity for empathy and emotional intelligence. A woman who listens well shows she's willing to invest in understanding others, which is a crucial foundation for any meaningful relationship. For men, this quality is particularly appealing because it signifies that she values connection and sees communication as a shared experience. Ultimately, listening is one of the most powerful ways a woman can build trust and connection. It's a quiet yet profound act of care that leaves a lasting impression, shaping how men perceive her ability to engage meaningfully and create a sense of partnership. The different styles may work differently, but listening is not a female manifesto. It's a woman's inherent privacy and emotional vulnerability. Men notice the energy a woman brings into a room, even if it's not something they can easily put into words. This energy isn't about loudness or drawing attention, but the subtle, unspoken vibe that surrounds her. It's the way she makes people feel in her presence. Whether it's through warmth, optimism, calmness, or even tension, this presence carries a weight that leaves a lasting impression, often influencing how others perceive her long before she speaks. A woman who exudes positivity and confidence has a way of brightening the atmosphere around her. This doesn't mean being overly cheerful or constantly upbeat. It's about having an authentic, grounded energy that feels inviting and safe. Men notice when she walks into a room and carries herself with grace, her demeanor signaling that she's comfortable with who she is. This kind of energy draws people in because it fosters a sense of ease and connection. It suggests she's someone who can handle life's challenges with resilience and optimism, a quality that is inherently attractive. Conversely, negative energy can be just as noticeable. A woman who consistently brings tension, drama, or pessimism into a space may inadvertently create barriers to connection. Men are often sensitive to this, even if they don't consciously realize it. They pick up on the emotional tone she sets and may feel cautious about engaging if it seems like her energy will add stress or instability to their lives. This isn't about being judgmental. It's an instinctive reaction to how her presence influences the environment. What stands out most is authenticity. A woman's energy is most impactful when it feels genuine. Men notice when her mood and presence align with her true self rather than being performative or forced. This authenticity makes her relatable and approachable, creating an unspoken bond that fosters trust and comfort. Whether it's her sense of humor, calm, composure, or empathetic nature, her energy speaks volumes about how she navigates the world. The energy a woman brings isn't just about how others perceive her. It's also about how she shapes her interactions and relationships. Men notice and remember how she makes them feel, because it reflects not only her emotional state, but also her potential as a partner. It's an unspoken quality that often lingers long after the interaction is over, defining how she's viewed and valued.